So, we're all young adults. How do people know when they're ready to start investing? Because you're an investor. That's
Right.
what you do.
Yeah.
And how do you know you're like, okay, I'm ready to get down this path? What's the secret formula to knowing when you're ready to start investing?
Ooh. I I think you should know once you start making money. Or
I mean, there's a lot of
Like-
13-year-olds out there making money.
Exactly. Like if you're right,
Yep.
like you should know when you start making money. I think, for my kids at least, I'm going to teach them as early as possible. As soon as they understand the concept of money. It's like,
Yeah.
you got to invest this. You got to save it. You got to, it's a tool that you must use in your life, right?
Yeah,
As
yeah.
early as possible. You
Yeah.
know, like you're signing your kids up to play sports at the age of 3, Should also sign them up with a master class in finance.
Do you think the kids at under 13 are going to get it?
Yeah, I think so, for sure. Yeah. Like the concept is, one, you make money, but it's also, right, like, how do you make that money grow? Or, like, what do you do with that money, right? Like, the first thing you learn is how to spend that money,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
You spend it on
McDonald's
goods.
money.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You got
Goods
some
that-
McDonald's money?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You need
Yeah.
that 20-piece nugget
Yeah,
with
right.
barbecue sauce
Yeah.
and honey. But,
Okay. Honey.
Yeah, honey.
What a mix.
Yeah.
Don't start making fun of me, y'all, because I mentioned McDonald's.
But yes, you spend it on goods and services that help you, right? Or
Yeah.
that fulfill something in you, right?
Yeah.
And that's more or less the concept, right?
Yep.
And that could also be, right, spending the money to invest in stocks, right? This future value that can benefit you, right?
Yep.
And I like the link is very it's logical, right? But I think because, consumerism is such a big part of the US market, we kind of stop at that point. But if you just take it another step further, it's like, maybe instead of, you're going to buy a car that helps you, a nice car, right? But also, like, what if you bought like a classic car that held value and appreciated over time, right? I mean, it's the same idea, but one asset can appreciate and one depreciates.
Let me ask you this. So I watched Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
Okay. And his formula is, number one, save $1,000. This is assuming you have debt.
Right.
Save $1,000. Step number 2, pay off your debt.
Right.
Step number 3, save 6 to 8 months in the form of an emergency fund. Nothing that you invest, like it's just sitting in an account somewhere.
Right.
6 to 8 months 3 to 6 months of expenses, but I say 6 to 8 months. You never know if you're going to get another job really fast.
Right.
And then step number 4 is once you saved up everything, then you can start investing 15% of your income into your 401k, and then diversifying it into investing in mutual funds, and then after that, saving for your kids' college and blah blah blah.
Right.
Do you think that that's the right step, or do you feel like this is also telling you that there's no investing being done if you're in debt, if you don't have your 6 months, of expenses saved up?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got to have all your bases covered before you start investing.
Okay.
I mean, investing is the extra money that you have that you are able to put to work for yourself, And
So you're not risking, like you're not telling people to risk. You're risk adverse.
I am risk adverse if you are financially at risk.
Okay.
If you are financially at risk, you better be risk adverse. Which is, so this is why it's important to start learning to invest at an early age.
Okay.
Because if you start at, say, 13, right?
Yeah.
You're probably still living with your parents, And there's probably still taking care of all of your daily needs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So guess what? Any money you make at 13, that money you can use to invest, because it's not like you're using
You
that
don't
money.
have any expenses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not having to put food on the table,
Yeah.
you know? So that's important. That's why it's so important to start early, because you can actually have that money to invest at an early age. Obviously, as you get older, you know, you need to make sure you take care of all your bills, you know, take care of all your debt. Obviously, like if you have credit card debt that's charging 20%, right? And then you're saying, oh, instead of paying off that debt, I'm going to invest in the S&P and get 9% a year.
Yeah.
You're still down 10%, right? Like,
Yeah.
like it doesn't make it, like, you should pay off that 20% debt, unless you know an investment that's going to pay you more than 20% a year.
Let me ask you a question. So you're a young parent,
Yeah.
and most times when people get a little older, and B, they have a family, they start, not wanting to take so many risks. So would you say that once you have kids, the best thing you should do is just invest in mutual funds, index funds, or do you think that there's still room for risk for young parents, or just parents in general?
Yeah, there's room for risk, for sure. Obviously, you have to work yourself to that point. You got to make sure you, like I said, you're able to make good on all of your obligations.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And then just like what you were saying, right? It's all about taking a percentage of what you're willing to risk and how much risk you're willing to take. You can always take high risk with, 0.2% of whatever money you want to play around with. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Or if you're a little wild, you can go 10%,
Okay. Yeah.
right. It like there's ways to do. That's what's so nice about, I think, the U.S. market, is you have all these options at your disposal.
Yeah.
While in certain countries they may not have, such a robust market for investing. I think the U.S. is one of the most robust markets for growing your wealth, because you have so many options.